Thank you. Yes, at the Penang Institute, we have just completed a 10-year comprehensive plan for the state. And it has a very large section on transportation. When we talk about dealing with congestion in Penang, people say, tell us what are we proposing? What people many times do not want to hear is how did we get here to the present state of such heavy congestion in Penang. Unless we know the root causes which brought us here, we are not sure that the solution we propose is not just merely dealing with the symptoms. I want to say that quite a lot of Penang's problems is partly that Penang has growth, and that there's been a lack of infrastructure investment. The other thing was the poor public transportation we have in the entire country was deliberate policy. We wanted to have everybody own his or her own Proton Saga. This was a deliberate decision to go for heavy industrialization, of which the car was going to be a very important instrument of accelerating growth. It comes to mind a colleague, Chi Ping Lim of University of Malaya, who criticized this policy of taking the public for a ride with the Proton Saga. He spent his career in Thailand. So we had a deliberate policy of underinvestment in public transportation. This is why in Kuala Lumpur, it's impossible to walk from Mid Valley Shopping Mall to any of the light rail stations, because it's just each development, the only way you can get out of it, you cannot walk out of it, the only way you can get out of it is in a car. So that clearly has to be used. And coming back to the two questions of Anil and Lim Ma Hui, there is no silver bullet. In other words, there is no one single action that we do that would solve it. We need to think of a package approach. You cannot say, from now onwards, anybody who rides a car will have to pay X amount, collect a fee, in other words, demand management. It's not fair to do it to the poor unless you complement that with improvements in public transportation. Without improving public transportation, and you impose all kinds of costs on the use of motor vehicles, like motorbikes, basically you're screwing the poor. Tell them you don't need to go to work. If you need to go to work, you pay more. So there's no silver bullet. So we want to get public transportation, and we want to get in place, and that we certainly need the federal government to play a role. For example, there have been no increases in the number of buses in Penang for the last 5 years. We have been asking for it, and it has not come. We are still waiting. And hopefully, Putrajaya will respond soon. And thank you. I will be very happy if you respond soon. And the other thing is we have to admit that there's a shortage of sensible roads in Penang. How does a tourist get from Tanjung Bunga and Batu Ferringhi to the airport? Basically, he has to come down to Bagan Jama, turn around, go up Gottlieb Road, well, used to be called Gottlieb Road, to Western Avenue, and then through Green Lane onto the airport. Basically, he comes into town and goes out of town again. That's not sensible. We need to have a ring road so the guy from the northern part of the state could just cut straight across to the airport. So not building roads at all is not a solution. We need that. Roads is not just for transportation. Roads is also a matter of sustainable development in the sense of building social stability by bringing income to the poor. If we build the third link, we will connect Northern Penang with Northern Pride. The only way to bring prosperity to Northern Pride is to be able to bring jobs to Northern Pride. And that is better promoted with better integration between northern part of the island and Northern Pride. We may have second-class citizenship in Malaysia, but there should be no second-class residents in the state of Penang. If we want to be fair to Northern Pride, we have to go for the third link. And that is ultimately important for sustainable development, for social harmony, and broadening the inclusion, social inclusion. Well, let's take one more round of questions, because the Penang paradigm is available on the website. This gentleman, please, and then that gentleman. Could you please step forward, kind sir?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Kim Pa, and I speak as a person from the NGO called the People's Green Coalition. And my topic is actually on the questions of toxic industries in this country. Now, toxic industries, toxics, yes. Now, we are all aware of the great tragedy of Bhopal incident in 1984, where because of the hydrogen cyanide gas leak at the Union Carbide in the village of Bhopal, overnight we had I think over 2 weeks they have a total fatalities of 16,000 and also 500,000 injuries, permanent and also temporary. Now the claims are still ongoing and the case has not been solved. Now this problem is now coming ashore to Malaysia in the form of cyanide in gold mining. And there are about 5 such facilities in Malaysia, but particularly most probably in Raud, the most prominent one, whereby each day we are using about 1.1 ton of sodium cyanide. Now the people there are very worried about potential gas leak, and therefore putting a total of 20,000 residents at least at great fatality. Yep. The question now is that in view of the so-called ethics and also equality in development and international development, what can we do to ensure toxic industries are not exported to third world countries like Malaysia? And what is the role of government in doing this? Thank you very much.
The lady, and then you, sir.